what's next door to Sandton? Right next door to one of the most richest miles in
Alex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, Alex is like a nightmare, guys. And it's right next door to Sandton. I think every single city in this country, townships are not treated well.
A couple of times I've been there, right? No power, no water. In Bryanston of all places.
And it's my favorite place in Joburg, Bryanston. I feel like it's the most central point in Joburg. I love Bryanston.
But it's just, anyway, so I mean, I'll be honest, Cape Town has, it's run well. But to be fair, there are parts, okay, where we live, yes, it's run very well. And I remember driving Dlanga, like literally 2 weeks ago. Dlanga, there is trash everywhere. So now I'm like, is it selective?
I always hear that angle. But
it's not an angle, but it's
that
I
truth.
saw it.
So I go to Sandton.
And I've got pictures.
I just want to say there are some areas in Cape Town where there's the poorest whites with the most trashy white townships you'll ever come across. Go to Brackenfell. But I think everything, for me, I would love to live in a place, and I'm proud to live in Cape Town, but I grew up in Kukuletu and Dlanga, and I'm always in Kukuletu and I'm always in Dlanga. They need to be improved. The service level needs to be improved there for sure. I like Cape Town.
No, Cape Town is, can I tell you that like I have it's earlier in the year I had a strong urge to move back to Joburg.
Why?
Well, primarily because like my people are there, and for me, I know that I thrive when I am with my people. So I need that proximity, and I didn't know that when I moved here. And then the pandemic happened, but then I was flying to Joburg all the time, and I'm like, do I really want to go back to Joburg? But I can always go whenever I want. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I should have. But anyway,
my agreement with Joburg is that I will only be there if someone pays me to be there.
Hear me out for a moment. I absolutely love being associated with great South African businesses. And one of those is Naked Insurance. For one thing, Naked Insurance makes it so easy for you to understand insurance that you can sign up on your own, online, in 90 seconds, minus all that complicated mumbo jumbo that one has to deal with when trying to get insurance. To find out more for yourself, please click on the link on the descriptor. You won't regret it. And one more thing, please click on the link so that they can see that you actually click on the link from this channel, and trust me, you'll be helping this channel grow a whole lot. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
It's always been my conscious decision, and then I'll extend it 4 trips.
Okay.
So then sometimes I'm in Joburg for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months.
Okay.
But my agreement is that someone else must pay me to be there. I love the people there. I love the woman there. I mean, I love. But Joburg ladies are a lot more expensive than Cape Town ladies.
So what does that mean? What's expensive?
I said what I said.
No. I asked what I asked.
And people know.
I asked what I asked.
And people
what
know
do you mean? And I don't know what you mean.
You have to work. When you're there, guys, Joburg, it's just like, it's like an unsaid culture of you need to pay for things.
Okay.
To get things.
Okay.
And that culture has been very much normalized. But it's 2023. If you have a penis, you can't say anything. So I have a penis.
No. But you know, I don't think that's true. I think, can I tell you? Yeah. And so I always feel that anybody can say anything.
It's how you say it.
It's how you say it. And I'm a strong believer in that. And I don't think we should censor ourselves because we're worried about what the backlash might be.
I don't give a fuck what any of you think. If you didn't know that before this podcast, know now. I don't give a fuck what you think, and I'm scared of none of you. I really was actually joking about that. I think there is definitely a culture of. I speak to a lot of my guy friends. A lot of my guy friends are like, it's difficult out there. The game is difficult. There's Instagram, and Instagram shows a lot of men who have money and the kind of lifestyles that people are used to on Instagram are not sustainable.
Yeah, completely unrealistic.
Unrealistic. So the average man who's earning an average everyday income cannot afford bottle service.
And not only just think about this, right? Because to make I think it's at the 1% in South Africa, you need to earn 43,000 rand a month.
Yeah. So
and for the 3,000 rand, and this is, I'm assuming this is like before tax.
yeah.
Now tax has been taken away.
We're not talking about it.
So now, like that, you can't afford bottle service.
So you can't afford bottle service. You can't afford.
And you're in the 1%.
Yeah, you can't be affording to buy people cars. And then like even me living here, man, I get the weirdest requests for women.
Quick one. This production would not have been possible without the good help of our friends over at Phil SA. They have given us some of the equipment that we use to shoot this podcast and some of these episodes. In fact, all of the episodes that we've shot so far. Please go and check out some of the good news stories they have on philsa.co.za, and also check out the YouTube channel and subscribe to them as well. Click the link in the description to find out more.
I had a request the other day, and you know, I'm a guy.
Yeah.
Like I love sex. And so I was chatting to this woman, whatever, and she was like, "Hey, 3-5 for a threesome."
What?
I'm like,
She said what?
3-5 for a threesome.
Is
And
the-
I was like,
When she says 3.5, what?
3,500.
3,000.
Yeah, 500. So then I'm like, I can afford it, but I ain't gonna pay it. And I mean, like, I want them to know that I can afford it. Like, I actually say to them, I can afford it, and it will do nothing to my account, but you ain't getting this dick. So me, and they take chances. And they take chances because, you know, I'm a softie, and I think you people see the
Wait, I want to ask like the 3.5.
3.5.
Wait, so this was like a regular person that you met
No, but I think I know the person, but she's saying that the other girl
once.
wants 3.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't know the other girl?
No, I don't.
Interesting.
I just got pictures, you know.
Okay.
And I was just like, I'm almost like, if I don't need what? You know, and for me,
So fun. I wish I'm going like another camera that will show our crew. They are dying.
let me tell you another thing that people don't realize about me.
Yeah.
I was raised by a very conservative woman who was a
Yeah.
principal, right? So
Our principal is called.
yeah. So for me, I'm quite like, I have conservative things about me. There's certain things in my life that are very conservative, and there's certain things that are very extreme.
Yes.
So I think some people see different sides of me, and then they get a bit like,
Yeah, that's very true.
And then they and I don't think they realize that about me.
Yeah.
So like, there's certain things about, I'm all about paying for dinners for women. You'll never pay for dinner when you come with me. And I think you're the same kind of guy.
Yeah.
I will always pay for dinner. You will never have to pay for dinner. And anything, drinks, whatever, I'll take care of it. But don't you dare feel entitled to my money. I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you are they, them, they, she, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't feel entitled to my money. And there is a culture that's
But what they're saying, though, I think that what they're saying is that not that they're entitled to your money. What women, I think, an argument that I think I'm still struggling to kind of understand is that, yo, listen, you know, are you taking me out of the comfort of my home? You are. I have my man, like I look. But no, then I have to do my hair.
I've heard that theory.
I had to spend so much money. That's an easy.
I've heard that theory. That theory is utter nonsense. So,
Yeah.
it's difficult to look good. It's expensive. So I need a dress, I need hair, I need nails, all these things. And I'm like, no, you do it for yourself. You know, that's ridiculous. So there is this culture, and you know, and I know, you know, people. For me, what I want to be able to go, no, that's prostitution. If if you ask me to pay 3.5, that is prostitution. And even if I wanted to do it,
Yes.
in what world would I want to pay 3.5? There's a WhatsApp there going 3.5 for sex threesome. Screen grab,
Yeah.
screen grab,
Yeah,
screen
yeah,
grab.
yeah, yeah.
You know, then we're busy in the bed, the video screen grab. Then Siv is out there, dick out. You know, pay 3.5 for this shit. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna survive that shit. So I don't understand it. You know, I work hard for my money. I really do, right? Charity, guys, charity, boy, that's my stuff. Yeah, I don't mind charity.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this kind of culture that's being developed, just don't. I'm not a fan of it.
You know, but don't you think that a part of it is because of what? It's funny because I think that even Cape, not just Joburg, I think it's something that's happening throughout.
It's happening here, but
part of
Joburg, the masters, is
Yeah.
that the doctorate is in Joburg.
Yeah, and I think part of it has got to do with the socioeconomic conditions people find themselves in, right? So and everyone is looking for some form of upward mobility, and what's happened though is that there are men who have kind of taught women.
There's a market. There's a market.
Who have done this because they say, okay, great. For example, some married men will be like, well, I'm married and I want to make sure I keep things on the down low, and a guarantee of that is for me to put something down, right? And therefore, everyone is at peace and everyone's quiet.
Yeah,
right?
but not
And
forever.
and then what happens then is that distorts the market, as some people say, the dating market.
Oh, it has. Let me tell you, it has. It is really. So now the average man, the average everyday man who used to, you know, having a job was enough in the old days. Now having a job is not enough.
But you know, but I also don't think that there are as many women who do that as people talk about. It feels
One is too
the
much.
Well, but the thing is, anything that is one is too much.
If you are the guy, one is too much. If you are the guy,
You
it's
know.
too many people.
Well, I just don't. But generally, we've got to be honest as well about one thing: is that life, there is a transaction. Like life is some kind of transactions that take between places. So friendships, like I gain there's some kind of maybe emotional support that I get from you, and there's a kind of whatever it is that that we have. That's a transaction, right? But because of the sort of financial exchange, it doesn't feel like it's a transaction. And just like there are some people I'd be like, that person drains the energy out of me. I don't enjoy the transactions. So I avoid those people.
Yeah,
right?
I can.
And you have, I mean, even like a parent-child relationship is transactional. To whatever degree it's there. And I think here there is a level of it in some relationships that if you look at it on that basis, that there is a level of transaction.
I get it.
Yeah.
All I'm saying for me, if I want to buy you something, make it be my I need to put it forward.
Yeah.
That I don't feel entitled to my money. And I'll have that view forever. And I was raised by a very independent, strong woman. They didn't have much as well, but the last thing they wanted to do was live off of men. And that's the kind of people I was raised around. So I think that definitely affects how
So
I
what I want to ask, because you talk about like the very, very conservative, and on the other hand, very liberal kind of person. So, Tosa woman, your mother, principal, at what school?
Axola negugulethu.
Google it. Okay, I think I might have gone to that school. I must have gone to. There was a time when the first time I lived in Cape Town, I went to speak to, I think about 120 schools in the Western Cape.
Wow.
Going from school to school. We're trying to build a magazine, but we deliver it for free, and hopefully advertisers will back this thing. So I did have to. Each child who wanted a magazine had to fill in their details. But this was long before like computers were like a proper thing in different schools. I went from Bishop's Court Bishops to schools like Kolani to Manenberg, everywhere. I went to Atlantis. I crisscrossed this province. But I even lost track of what I was going to say.
no,
You're
so
raised by
you've
a
been-
conservative.
yeah.
Yes. So a conservative. Where is your live? Because one, you have this display of hyper masculinity, right? That you have. You see there, like in the boxing ring, and like, hey guys, I would not fight this guy. See him there.
Anyone who says they won't fight me is making the best choice of their life.
Like, I'm not gonna fight this guy. I've seen you there in the ring, and I'm like, okay, no, this guy knows what he's doing. And then on the other hand, you have this guy pole dancing, wearing heels. Like, how did these two worlds come to be?
This podcast is hosted at the stylish Rockefeller Hotel and Apartments in Cape Town. Whether you're a business traveler or a vacationer, this stunning property has everything you need for an unforgettable stay. Enjoy breathtaking views of the mother city. Dine at the top-notch restaurant. Stay fit at the well-equipped gym. Relax at the top-floor indoor swimming pool. And beat load shedding. The Rockefeller has it all. Make it your go-to destination on your next visit to the mother city.
I think the question gets asked quite often. And I think the only way I can put it perfectly into words is my mother passed away in August. We're in we're at her church, and that is Ekukuletu. Old black church. It's cold. My mom's friends are there. They're all singing, dancing. It's full. Typical black church. Memorial service. And then this very old man goes up on the stage and says, "Mama Okubutand. Your mother loved you so much." She just kept on talking to this about me. And then occasionally they mentioned my sister, but they were just directing it at me predominantly because my mom's very proud of me. She was very open about how proud of me she was. And the priest said in his class, your mother was so proud of you that she would share your pole dancing videos, your drag videos, and your heel videos in our church WhatsApp groups. And I thought that was like, no, that's where it came from. My mother thought I was enough. And my mother raised me to do what I wanted to do as long as I wasn't hurting anyone. That's where it comes from. My mother let me be who I wanted to be. And that's where it comes from. There's no other explanation.
I'm not so far.
No.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, for me, that's when I was like, oh, it comes. My mother was always like, yeah, when
Yes.
the dishes. After first team rugby, wipe your boots, clean your boots. You know what I mean? So there was always, and I did scouts, I did rugby. She put me in drama, I was doing debating. So she let me be this person.
Multifaceted.
Because
so you went like, okay, you're just going to be a jock. That's so funny because for me, it was exactly the same. So my mother was like, oh, yeah, just because you got two sisters doesn't mean I was a peg. So I was there cooking. And not only was I cooking, I don't know if like kneading bread, guys. Kneading bread.
Baking,
all of those
we're
things.
doing all of it.
And then later, like on Saturday, you're doing all of those things, doing the garden and doing the washing. There was nothing that I did, that my sisters did that I didn't do.
So, but I have to add, but I was treated from an early age that I was special.
Okay, why was that?
Not because I was the youngest boy, but my sisters, I remember my elder sister was like, oh, as a kid, you irritated the hell out of us because we always knew you were different. We knew you were different to all of us. My grandfather absolutely idolized me, my grandfather.
So here's a question. A lot of, in my view, and I've seen this a lot, so where the youngest sibling generally gets that treatment. And it's, and I don't know what it is, like the last born, it's like a thing that kind of almost happens with most families, right? And therefore that child feels special.
I walk into every room like I'm special. I walk into every room like I've made it better. I walk into every relationship or friendship like I've made you better than you were when I arrived. And if I don't do that, you should cut me. But growing up, my grandfather, the way my grandfather used to look at me, Khaya, I must be honest, I can't, he treated me like he worshipped me. Never asked me to make him a cup of coffee. And I remember My grandfather, he died, but I remember he used to wait for me. He had a stroke and wait for me. And I remember I used to watch him and he used to cover himself, like just sit there, cover himself. And he would not let anyone take him to the toilet but me. And the only things I ever did for him was take him to the toilet. I remembered the rest of my entire life, he treated me like I was special. My family always did. But my mother was very, very good at being very, very hard on me. Yeah, I see how the world treats you. Yeah, I see they treat you like you some, I see kind of a thing. She used to say, you're not famous, you're infamous. She used to say this to me. So for me, people even talk about the confidence. It comes from being treated special since the day I was born. And that's just an absolute unfair advantage.
No, I think, you know what, no, but I do think there's something to be said about being treated, you know, specially. But I have got to say that what your mother did for you by being hard as well on you did you a great deal of favor. Because what tends to happen with kids who are treated like they're special when they grow up, they don't know the harsh realities of life unless they have someone like your mother who's going to say, okay, yeah, you may be special, but the world.
So Chumam, that's why losing my mother was so difficult, because my mother was my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, my biggest critic. And consciously, I was succeeding to make her proud. And that was a very conscious decision, continuously. So I would do something, then run back to her and go, look what I did. And that's all I did. And when she died, I lost that person who I was doing it for. Because success for me is subconscious. I go into things subconsciously knowing I'll kill it, right? And if I don't kill it, I'll learn how to kill it. Or I'll find a way to maneuver it to be great at it. But now having to relearn everything. I was 37 years of trying to make this one person happy and trying to make them succeed. But now having to learn to consciously achieve to make myself happy. So for me, every single goal I destroy, I'm always like, yeah, but like even like I did Woman King now, and every time I get a message going, you were amazing, oh my God, I'm always like, yeah, no shit, in my head. Yeah, I'm great, you know what I mean? And someone goes, oh, yeah, I'm doing it, great. So I tend to move from goal to goal to goal to goal to goal, going, yeah, obviously, in my man going, yeah, I'm great. But what I've lost now is my mother. She was the one going, you're great, and I'd be like, thank God you see it. You see how good I am.
Yeah.
You see how great I am. And when she died, bro.
So
I can tell you now, I'm 20% of the man that I was before she died. I'm a walking corpse. I'm nothing of the man that I was. The only reason that I'm able to do what I keep on doing is because subconsciously excellence is all I know. But I understand why people kill themselves after losing their mother. I understand why people go into mental institutions after losing their mother. I understand why people's marriages are destroyed after losing their mother. I get it. And if you listen to this, I get it why you want to give up. I get it why you're on medication. I get it why you've ended your life. I get it. The only thing that I find for me is that I found this analogy the other day going, buffaloes and cows can sense when the storm is coming. But cows run away from the storm. But buffaloes instinctively go towards the storm. And you would think the cows are trying to run away from danger, but the cows are just cowards. But the buffaloes are going into the storm. If you know, the person who's going to be in the storm the least amount of time is actually going to be the buffalo. Because the cows are running, but the worst part of the storm is in the front. Yeah. But then the easiest part of the storm is actually the middle. And then the end is actually the least. So for me, I've treated my mother's death like a buffalo. I've gone ahead first. I've created albums with her face and my face. I listen to WhatsApps. I go into the pain. I go into the hurt because I need to go into the storm, or else I'm going to be that cow and I'll never be the same again. Like I will never be the same again. But like I always say, 20% of Siv Ngesi is people's dream.
Condolences, man. I cannot imagine what that's like. It's not.
It is. You know something? When it happened, I was like, fuck the world. Fuck everyone. Because everyone who's lost their mother didn't prepare me. Like, you think to yourself, it's just another level of pain. I remember when I remember hitting the window, I think to myself, if this window broke and I fell out, I'm fine. Because I live on the 16th floor. And then I called my best friend and I said to Mpaki, this is all I said to Mpaki. I said, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Come here now! And she burst into tears and she was there and she knew exactly what happened, right? I remember seeing my mother lying on the floor. And I said to her, why is my mother on the floor? And I kissed her and I held her, and I cried. But the moment that changed my life is I went to the mortuary. And she was lying on the mortuary bed there, on the steel thing. And I remember fixing her sock and feeling ice. And then I made a conscious decision and I said, I'm not gonna tell you I love you here. Because I've been telling you I love you for 37 years. But the mistake is that everyone waits till that moment to tell people that they love them and tell them how much they feel, how they feel. I remember going, nah, bro, I'm not gonna say anything here. I'm not gonna tell you I love you. No, bro. Fix the sock, felt the ice. And the best lesson is, if you love someone, you fucking show them and you fucking tell them. And if you're waiting for the day they're sitting there and they are...
It's too late.
It's too late. So for me, that's the thing for me. But, and I know you lost your brother, and I've been following that, but there's something about such a big loss it's indescribable. Like, I feel like a better creative. I don't know how to explain that. There's this creativeness that I can feel that's just like, I just want to explode out of me. I don't understand what it is though.
Do you know what I think? I think what causes that is because you are experiencing a new emotion you've never experienced before. And a part of that creative process is trying to come to terms with these emotions and express them in whatever creative way, because it's new, it's unknown, uncharted territory. And because you are charging like the buffalo, it's like, okay, I don't know these emotions.
Let's go.
They are new. Let me go to the storm.
Yeah.
And sabona ngaphambi.
So I had a great moment. So I interviewed Kevin Hart a few weeks ago, and I saw you actually hang out with him. It's so weird. So he was so tired and overworked that I was like a bit underwhelmed. And I know that sounds like a harsh thing to say. I was a bit underwhelmed, but I thought to myself, this guy's tired. He's been going through so much. So I saw about 4 or 5 interviews I was doing. So he kept on saying the same thing over and over, and I could see that he was so tired that he's just, onto it. It's just regurgitating things. And because I've seen him since the morning and I've been interviewing him. But I had a moment when I asked him, I said, what inspires you to keep going? You're creating so much kind of thing. Same kind of bullshit, whatever. He gave me such a bullshit answer that I put my mic down after the interview. And I said to him, you know what, Kev? I disagree, I said to him. I said, I don't think you're pushing for success. I said, you're trying to make your mother proud, who died in 2007. I lost my mother 6 months ago, and I know that drive to make her proud. And I said, she's proud of you. And someone caught it on camera, and literally we had this moment. There were like thousands of people, and then me and him. I said it to him, whispered it in his ear, and then he just looked at me. He hugged me, he embraced me, and then he looked at me again, and it was like, thank you, man.
For seeing me.
Thank you. Yeah. And it was like, thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing what I'm doing. And we had that moment. And for me, it's so funny. Since interviewing him, I've shared no content of the thing, the interview. I didn't care about it. And then at the end, obviously, there's like 20 people surrounding him, you know what I mean? Like flipping cops. And as he was leaving, he saw me and he detoured towards me. And he was just like, hey man, thank you for the incredible work today. And thank you for that that comment. It really means the world to me. And I wanted to take a picture so bad, but it wasn't the moment.
Yeah.
I don't have a picture with him. All I have is interviews, but no picture with him. But there was a thing that he looked at me and he was like, oh, you're one of us.
Because what that happened is that that lingers way more than a picture ever will.
Yeah, but
it's indescribable. What you did, he will remember that moment forever.
So he looked at me and he had this
because
thing.
You didn't look at him as a job.
Yeah.
You were like, this is a human being going through experiences. And you were empathetic enough to say, okay, this guy's tired.
Off camera.
He's been going through all of those things. Off camera, you're like, actually, I know what it's like to
Yeah.
be a mother. But without saying, I know what it's like. Without making it about yourself.
No.
That's beautiful.
But there is this thing. If anyone in this room has lost a mother, I could sit with them for hours and we'll have a connection that you cannot describe. Because then everyone else who has a mother is like actually you have a mother.
You know?
Can you?
That's so funny. Because for me, when I, after I lost my brother, lots of people, say this and that, and you kind of okay, you're like, I don't really. Yeah, okay, things will get better. And then you listen politely and you're thinking, I wish you could just shut up.
Oh,
right?
My best.
And I know you're trying to do your best by saying, do you know the person for me who I spoke to, and it made so much sense. And the only reason it made sense to me was because she had actually lost her own brother 6 months before, Minnie.
Oh.
So I spoke I was like, she knows I'm going through. And she was just, not giving me advice, but she was just describing the things that I was going through. What a
traumatic.
I mean, we spent a December with him here before, like in Cape Town. So anyway, and there is something to be said about someone who has experienced something like a tragic event that very few people have experienced, and connecting that way. And that's why I know that losing my brother is very different from losing your mother. And in many ways, you expect like your mother to be alive for a very long time, right? Because, I'm sure they're grandkids, but I don't think the only grandkids I was expecting from you.
Yeah, not that I know of, because I could have the United Nations showing up. Little Chinese kids, little Thai kids. Hey, I've done things in the world.
Oh my word. So, and actually, going to that, I know that you have some interesting views about relationships. Ever since I've known you, I've never known you to be in a relationship. But you have been fornicating.
You're watching this, I'm in a relationship with you. I'll never get married. I don't believe in marriage. I don't think everyone should be getting married. I don't believe everyone should be in a relationship.
So you're saying, do you say that you don't believe in marriage, or you don't believe in marriage for yourself?
I don't believe in marriage.
Okay.
In its entirety.
All right.
I think it's man-made and utter bullshit.
Yeah, like most things.
Yeah.
Man-made.
Yeah, man-made. Yeah. And I think religion has definitely perpetuated the thought of.
Do you know why marriage happened?
Financial issues.
No.
Financially, it's a great decision.
Yeah. Can I tell why human beings invented marriage?
Why?
So back then in the caveman era, before formalized religion or anything that even existed. So what would happen is that, Siv, you see like there's a woman that you see there, and then I claim you, and there's Hulala, and we fight because I'm trying to claim that other woman. And then what happened is, in order to create like a social structure within the society, so that we don't kill each other, we're like, okay, me and this one, everybody knows we are together. Those are the origins. So it was like I forget the name of this book that I read this in. But
even in that,
yes.
there were two people who were together, but you were still living with other people. There were, your kid wasn't being breastfed by one person. Other people were breastfeeding. People were going and hunting. There was a community thing about it.
Hunted gathered.
But what's lacking now is a community. There's no community. There's no community.
Yeah, that's true.
So you now.
Well, there's a different form of community.
It's different form.
Like, I think it's a transitionary. Because I think what's happened is that as human beings, we advanced so quickly that technologically and because of technology, how we live and all of that kind of has to shift very quickly. However, our psychological makeup has not, kept up to pace with advances in technology. That
I
we have.
don't believe humans are meant to live with just man and woman and child. I don't think we're programmed that way. I believe we should be living in a gigantic flipping mansion with all your friends and that's how I believe it should be.
So funny. I actually agree with that.
And for me, I have no ambition. My biggest goal in life is to have a child. I want to be a father badly. I want to be a father.
Sorry to interrupt and don't forget the thought, but has that need to be a father, you're saying, has it become stronger since your mother's passing, or it's always remained
No, it's always
consistent?
it's always been consistent, and now I feel robbed that I didn't experience having a child with her around.
Okay.
And I nearly did have a child before she died, and I know that she would have fought harder to live longer if I had a child. I know that my mother was tired of living. She was just sick and tired of being sick. But I know if I had gone, Mom, I'm having a baby, well, she would have done everything to be able to be around. I have a need to be a father, and I don't ever want to have a child with someone who's in a relationship with. I believe that I want to co-parent with someone who knows that this is just for the child. I want it to the betterment of the child. I want her to live with me or around me, and I want us to raise this kid and this kid to know that we're putting everything into it. And for me and her, she knows that I will provide for her, but this child is my number one thing. And a lot of my friends who are in relationships, a lot of the times they think that the child is the most important, but actually the most important person is the other person, and then automatically you love the little kid. So my views on relationships, I see people walking hand in hand, and I'm like, oh, that looks terrible. Oh,
Why do you think it looks terrible?
I just don't have it in me.
Okay.
Marriage, I just don't have it in. I know I'll settle down with someone. I know whatever. But even like, if you're watching this, you couldn't name one woman I've been with. I'm just saying in general, person watching.
Should I name?
Been with?
Yeah.
Been with?
Yes. I'm not gonna.
I keep my stuff from the down low. That's why paying 3,500 rand for sex is just.
Well, the thing is, you may keep it on the down low. Doesn't mean the woman keeps it on the down.
See, the beauty of that is that that's their thing, not my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have views that a lot of people will be like, what? But I have no ambition. I really have no ambition. Like, I sometimes think to myself, coming home to the same person for the rest of your life. I have not, other people getting married, cool, that's the whole thing. But I think another reason why I can have this view is because I have an unbelievable community around me of women who are awesome. Paki was like my figurative wife, who we share everything with. We talk every single day. We share, like...
Yeah, sorry, just for context as well, Umpike is like your best friend in the world.
Yeah, and we do everything together. Yes. And for me, emotionally, that thing is filled. You know what I mean? Like, it's filled. Like, she's my call for everything. She holds me accountable. She shouts at me, but
and that's the one thing I can say, Umpike, is that she will bring you to account.
Yeah, but and interestingly enough, and then I have other friends or whatever, and then if I want to find sex, I find sex. But I mean, I just feel fulfilled. I really feel emotionally and unbelievably fulfilled as a man. And I think she plays a big role in the fulfillment of the emotionally figurative wife who don't have sex with anything else, but we do everything together. We just do everything we do together. But relationships, I feel like most of you watching shouldn't be in a relationship, and you know it.
No, but okay, why do you say that? Because I'll tell you what.
So I sometimes get Paki and I get sometimes couples coming to us. Oh my God, can we take pictures? You're our favorite friends. We love everything about you.
Yes.
I think to myself, yeah, you wish you had a relationship with your spouse that we have as just friends.
Well, yeah, I agree. So what I'm saying is that a lot of people don't really have, they don't have these soul relationships, if you will. And I think that is a big struggle. Because one of the reasons people have to break up, and you say that, what is the point? It's again, it comes down to the transactional, right? The level of the transaction. And it's a contract, you can say, to a certain degree. But you also have some kind of unspoken contract with Umpike, which is absolute unbridled trust.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you can be very vulnerable, I think, to her and vice versa. And that's what's causing that relationship to withstand. And also because it's got no
Ego.
apart from no ego, but there is no what's the word that I was trying to expectations, right? So whereas relationships are sometimes like this weird unspoken expectations, and that's why friendships tend to last a lot longer than a lot of relationships, because Jonga chap, you can do what you want. I'll be upset, but we're friends. And it doesn't mean that now, okay, that's it, because you did A, B, or C.
I'm sure one day I need to go to therapy for my views on relationships.
You should.
And I'm unapologetic about that as a closer 37-year-old man.
Yeah.
I'm sure my parents' relationships definitely affected the way I see things. And I know that. I know that one day I definitely need to see someone, because my views on relationships are so staunch.
Do you know why you should see someone? I went to see someone. There was a time when I was in a very long-term relationship for 4 years. Beautiful, fantastic woman, 4 years. And
Same vagina for 4 years. Must have been, you must have just got there and gone,
wow, I'm gonna see how. Hey, she was yeah.
but it's sex time. It's time for 4 years. Yeah, I cook it like it.
So, hey, guys, we need some holy water for this. And so she was asking the question, hey, kids, and getting married, and I was like, I don't know, hey.
I like your type. I know your type.
Not that I didn't know. Hey, that's the
Your type, no. I'm saying this is things, man.
No, you are mistaken. I have a broad platter. Plethora. What's the word?
Plethora of taste.
Yes, it's wide ranging, but it's got particular flavors, if you will.
Yes. I don't have.
So and so and I mean, when we started dating, I think maybe 2 years in, do you want to get married and have kids? I was like, I'm never having kids. I'm never getting married. I don't want to do that. And 4 years in, she really wanted to do both. I was like, my mind I'm still there, and I was like, you know what? Actually, let me go and see a therapist and see where this comes from. And I went to see a therapist, and I spoke to her for lots and lots of sessions. And the great thing about going there was that there was no answer when I came back, and my answer remained the same, that I did not want to have kids. One day, but the fact that I was speaking to a professional about it, I think was very helpful in clarifying certain things that I was unaware of. One of them was that my father died when I was young. So I was 6 years old when my father died. And so I was like, oh, I might die. My grandfather, who's my dad's dad, also died young. And I was thinking...
From what?
Well, my grandfather, tortured by the apartheid government and killed. Well, he didn't die, suffered from a stroke and then died from that. And my father was stabbed. And then I was like,
it's not in your genes.
So I know, no. But then and there was a book. It's so funny. I read this Winston Churchill's biography, and I read like a Bill Clinton biography. Very interesting that Churchill's father and grandfather also died young, and he was terrified that he'd die young too, but he died at 90, almost 100. Bill Clinton also was terrified because his father and his grandfather, and I was like, oh, it must be some kind of legitimate fear that people tend to have sometimes. And that was the reason I was like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get married. One of the reasons. And so one day I'm sitting in a church pew, someone is getting married, I'm early, I'm sitting there by myself, the church is quiet, everybody's still outside. And I went into the church early, to sit, to get good sitting, because I like sitting in the aisle, I hate being in the middle of people, so that's why I went in early. And just sitting there, I was like, actually, I can do this.
Yo, no kwazinganya.
Job, no, what I'm saying, I was staunch. I was so staunch in this belief. But then there was no lightning bolt, nothing. And I was like, I can do this.
I could never.
So we don't know yet.
I could never promise someone that I will pick them for this.
For me, that I like that honesty. For me, I prefer that, which is why like this woman, like we love each other, you know. And I was like, I can't do that thing that you want.
Yeah, for me, it's there's so many beautiful women out there. I don't know if I found many amazing women that I've met who I can go, oh my God, you're perfect for me, but I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. I've said I'm so. I said to a woman, and she.
Actually, I don't let this one go because it annoys me to say that like I cannot, like yes, you're so beautiful and you're so great, but I'm an idiot. It's almost as if you're saying that you are incapable of like transforming. You know what I'm saying? Which
I don't want to transform.
Okay, but which means it's not that important to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, then I accept that. But
I said to a woman.
So what I'm saying like this, then I hope you don't say that to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise it's patronizing. Just keep quiet.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. But I did say to a woman, I wish. It's half jokey, half serious. I said to the woman, I wish the next man could be my stunt double, so he could do the things I wasn't man enough to do. Take it, guys.
And then what? Oh, come kiss me.
No, I know. Can I be honest? Like, I wish I had it in me, guys. I wish I had it in me. I really wish I had it in me.
I think that there is a resistance in there that maybe you aren't able to unlock. I don't know what that is, or you really don't have it in you. I don't know. But you are. It's so funny because you are actually you have wide emotional range. Which is why, for me, that is a surprising thing to hear.
I think a lot of women who I meet say the same thing. I feel like I can make a woman really, really happy. I just don't know how long I could do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. For me, I appreciate the honesty. Is this, anyone who comes and talks to you, they're like, okay, well, I know we're going to be happy for 4 months and then he's going to find someone else.
That's the Nwangi.
So, yeah?
But I have met one woman, I won't say much about it, but who's still like the woman of my dreams. But yeah.
I got phone.
That's not the problem. I'm the problem. I'm the problem.
Okay. And then, so your very first television appearance or TV thing, 7 years old. Was it an ad? How old were you?
Nine. I walked home from swimming practice. And I intersected the bridge as this other lady was walking there. Her name was Kathy Doddles and Shirley Major and Kathy. And she was like, some kid lied in a commercial and said he could swim. And black kid lying saying he could swim. Thank you stereotypes that blacks not been able to swim. Next day I'm shooting a commercial. Week later, someone says, the agency was like, we have a space in our car for one more kid to go to an audition for Les Mis, a musical. And I got it and I toured the world with Les Mis as a 9-year-old. So yeah.
That is insane.
But the thing, I'll never forget, she said,
okay, wait, so what?
She said,
yeah,
come with us, we have space in the car, you'll just go there for one round just to experience it. I remember as a
9 years old
going, why don't I just get it? Why must I go experience? Just get it.
Yeah.
And then I got it.
Wow.
But I never had Mnet. Because they were announcing Mnet 3 months later. So my mom went across the road. We had to go across the road to watch it at the Malungu's house.
Oh, wow.
To watch it. And then I was like, okay, cool. I got it.
Oh, wow. And then, so how come, what school are you going to?
I went
that
to
you a 9-year-old kid, black kid, was swimming?
Miss Casley's. I heard about this thing about black kids not being able to swim. And obviously, I was like, what? Why don't I just learn how to swim? And then I played Western Province water polo as a kid. Played goalkeeper. And yeah, like most things I do, sometimes I hear black people don't ride motorbikes. I was like, what? Sponsored by KTM now. I hate contradictions of black people don't do this. Like, what? I can swim, play water polo. And yeah, and I only do, I do things that I love doing. Like I love, like recently I'm shooting a film next month. They were like, oh, do you know how to swim? Water polo. Okay, cool. Because you might have to go underwater. It's like I have my advanced diving license, scuba and free diving. So those kind of things, I just want to I just want to gain skills continuously, especially skills that tell me that I shouldn't be able to do it. I just want to gain those skills and prove people wrong continuously.
No, I think that's fantastic. I mean, it's like I swam. I always struggled with those whole thing about like black kids. As someone who grew up in the village, there's a river. We're swimming there all the time. We may not have been swimming like, breaststroke and freestyle. So it's Kagambo, but it can still swim, right? And then it's swimming. So and that's just for me.
The thing about black people not swimming is the biggest load of bullshit because it's a skill that can save your life. It should be compulsory. It should be compulsory. It shouldn't be. There should be jokes about it. Like I made jokes about it in my entire comedy career, but I remember as a kid, Gokuletu, they have them having pools. I remember
Do they still have the pools now?
No. I remember the deep end was always empty. And the shallow, and I was always the kid in the deep end, going, it doesn't matter how deep it is, as long as you're floating on top. So for me, black kids swimming is a life skill. And a lot of black kids die in water that they should not be dying in. Kids in general, but I mean a lot of black kids. And I think that should be tackled. Rick Nickling and I were always talking about how can we do this? How can we?
Well, part of the no swimming thing is that a lot of townships do not have swimming pools. Number one, where there were public pools, the public pools do not exist anymore, right? And you don't. There is no dedicated effort to say, okay, great, each township is going to have like 4 big pools, right? Well taken care of, and we'll find kids who come and swim here.
But the problem, blacks we only like to swim day after New Year or Boxing Day.
No, but I'm talking about solving the issue.
It's a problem.
So like there's a very practical way that I think that can be solved. But it was a lady, you probably know how to swim. Again, you're not like an expert. You're not like
you're floating.
Yeah. And then it's because when I was in school as well, what I did enjoy was actually when I was swimming, I'd like to underwater.
Yeah. Yes.
Go right to the other end of the Olympic-sized pool. And what I enjoyed about that was, for me, it was the competitive nature of it for me. The fact that no one else could go as further as I could. And anyway.
So I think in my career, my art side and my sporting side, arts and sport are very different. But what has helped me is that I've taken the discipline from sport into my arts. And I think one of my reasons why, because there are many more people who are more talented than me. They are.
The one thing I can say about you is a freaking discipline. It's insane.
So for me, my secret is discipline. It's not talent.
No, like you are so disciplined, except for Twitter. And
I love causing shit there. Oh my god. I love causing shit there.
Why?
Because I don't say what I don't believe. You'll never see me
saying. Then you're not causing.
Because sometimes.
Because you're saying what you believe.
Sometimes people think that them being offended justifies
their reason for being
angered or being right.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm always like, no, I don't. So I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that I just share my opinions. And I wish I had your skills in writing, because I'm not the best writer. I'm quite short and I'm whatever, but I share my views, and I think gradually Twitter's starting to learn my ways of doing things. So if you notice, I get in trouble less these days. But I'm still saying the same thing I was saying.
I don't know. I don't think that you're still saying them the way you said them. I'm
improving. I'm becoming a better writer. I'm improving my writing.
Yeah.
Because before, but I wasn't saying anything different.
But also the difference now, I think, because maybe so many people and often they've come for you, there is an element of education that also took place. And where you kind of knew information that you might not have known before, and therefore you are influenced somehow. Here's a question. How has having a Mpagi as a woman who is your as a best friend, how has that shaped how you, or what are the things that you've changed your mind about because of that?
I think when it comes to being a feminist, I'm more of a feminist than Mpagi could ever be. And I'll say that to a point blank.
It's a bold statement.
Yeah, I think Mpagi is very pro-woman. She's very, very pro-woman. But when it comes to the depth of the things...
Explain what that means. And
So Mpagi is one of the most disciplined, unbelievable, strong woman, independent, very pro-woman that I know. But when it comes to on-the-ground feminism of GBV, period poverty, and doing all the stuff, the work that I do, I'm much more involved in it. But I'll never say that me being friends with her hasn't made me a better man. It has made me a better man. But I was always involved in the fight before knowing Mpagi. But I think symbiotically...
But sorry, don't you think that like being involved in activism, for example, I can be, like go and march
and still be a terrible
exactly.
Man. Okay.
So that's why I'm saying that. So I don't know how that justifies you saying that.
Let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
So if we're let me rephrase that whole entire statement. So when it comes to being openly fighting thingies, I'm more the spokesperson and louder than Mpagi. But Mpagi definitely, our friendship definitely plays a big role in how I view women. But on the same hand, having a very strong woman as a best friend, sometimes I start expecting the same kind of strength from other women, and that's unfair. So that's what I mean in that sense. But Mpagi isn't this kind of woman.
Yeah, no, she's not.
No, she isn't.
She's not a Mandela, bro.
No, she isn't there. But for me, I'm a lot more open about that thing. But it definitely has made me a better man.
I think that like the work that she does though, which is one-on-one, is much stronger because what happens, like she's such a strong woman and got such strong points of view. It's so funny. I'm sure everyone's like, who's this Mpagi that everyone's talking about? I think I should get her in here at some point.
So yeah, but if she was here, I would say that too.
Yeah.
But she, for me, she's more of a one. You're right, more of a one person kind of thing. But for me, I think I take it quite on my shoulders, and Mpagi's a lot better at picking her battles in those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Uandile, he tells me that you are involved in a 48-hour film competition where you go there and you act for students for free. I still do free things. If someone phones me for the 48-hour thing, I'll do it. Someone asks me for a student film, I'll do it. I still do everything that helped me get here. Yeah.
How do you choose who to use? Like, did one person ask you or do multiple?
No, I think that multiple people will ask me, but I think for me, I still look for professionalism. Like the other day, a young man from the township asked me to do something for him, and like I spent the whole week asking him, what time, and then at 10 to 12 at night, he says to me, I need you tomorrow at so-and-so. And I said to him, as man, you're going to learn this lesson. I said, this is going to be a lesson for you. I'm not available tomorrow. No, please, we told everyone. I said, unfortunately, you'll never forget this moment. Yeah. And I said to him, just make sure you tell the truth about me to everyone. That I didn't cancel. I didn't let you down. But I've been asking you for the whole week, and you let yourself down. And that's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I always feel like, there's another thing that I've learned. Things are nuanced, more than we could ever imagine. So everyone gets opportunities. Some people just take them and some people don't, And for me, like I always laugh at people calling me a coconut and anti-black, and I always find that hilarious because I'm so pro-black. But I think my pro-blackness is different to the Julius Malema pro-blackness. But for me, I always like to plow back into the girl child, especially the black girl child. I love plowing back into the young boys. I'm all about it. But for me, you learn lessons in this process. I'm not going to just hand you over things. You must learn the lessons of how I had to learn. But I won't lie about white men, white women, my entire career took me under their wings and taught me everything. Dinners at tables with friends, dads, for hours. I learned because my parents weren't those kind of people. So for me, if you listen to this, I'm willing to share all the information that I have. Just got to be professional. I'm asking for basics. The other day I did another thing with this young man, really love him, wanted me to help him with something. He doesn't meet at 10, he arrives at 10:30. I said to him, this is not how it's done.
A theme, I can see the theme.
This is not how it's done.
The theme for me is time.
I don't play. Like I said to you, you said to me, meet me at 2, and I said I'll meet you at 10 to 2.
Yes, but you got there at
51 minutes past because I was trying to find this place.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I saw you parking.
Yeah.
I actually saw you parking the bike. So why is it that is so different about your pro-blackness that rubs some people the wrong way?
Because I will not pick black for the sake of black being black. And I think people can handle that. If there's an argument between a white person and a black person, and I see the white person's right, I'm siding with the white person. They're right.
I think that's logical.
I don't think it's logical on social media, my friend. I don't think, no, it's not that logical.
But, I do think that it's not about, for me, when it comes to those issues, it's about what is the truth. And then sometimes there is something that is seemingly objectively true.
Oh, nuance,
right?
Yeah.
But then when you have, for example, like the child, right, who is maybe in the township, where the concept of time is not maybe something that is well ingrained and taught in some kids.
Oh, they got it
right. Yes, I understand that. And do you remember what you said to me, right? So the kind of school you went to, so those schools like, at a certain time, like there's proper discipline. And you did Boy Scouts, discipline. You were touring the world at 9. Like things have to move at a certain pace, and you know the consequences, what happens if those don't happen. So there are things that we take for granted that through our exposure to certain things, we're able to move much more easier and navigate certain things much more easier than other people. And not to make excuses, right, for this boy, because he really should have given him the time when not supposed to. And I think you really did give him a very, very valuable lesson. And I think it was empathetic, but I don't think he'll really understand, because I imagine that in the environment he finds himself in, that is how he's constantly be. That is a constant behavior he witnesses and is exposed to.
Agreed. So I understand that. And I told him, I said, I'm not angry. I said, try again another time. And then the next time, I hope you've learned your lesson from this particular thingy. But the whole thing about time, I'm anal for time. I don't play with time. And I've realized that the world isn't that. It isn't a black thing, whatever. Because
you know what Nelson Mandela was said about freaking time?
Right.
He was like, if you don't respect time, it means you don't respect me.
And that's how I feel. But yeah, I don't know. I was a scout, and I really have some very hectic views and staunch. Yeah, there's some things that for me are very westernized, whatever. But for me, I'm all about plowing back into black people. I absolutely love being black. I love blackness. I love everything. Like I just don't think I'm as militant as people would like me to be in the positions that I am in. Like other day, I said Angela Bassett doesn't deserve an Oscar nomination.
I saw that and I laughed and you know I was like we spoke about this like the other day and I said I said I agree.
And they came for me.
I was scared to tweet that.
Yeah, they came for me. Came for me.
I was scared to tweet that. I was this close.
I said, guys, you think Marvel has black heads who are making money from this flipping film? Guys, relax, please. She didn't deserve to be there, and she was a pawn. You know what I mean? And I don't think that. I think she's a great actress.
Well, no,
she didn't deserve to be there.
Well, I think she definitely. When I saw the performances, right? when I looked at the performance, I was like, okay, looking at other performances of the nominations, like, okay, she does deserve to be here, but should she win? I did not think she should.
I could tell you that
Yeah.
Thuso Mbede was a lot better than Angela Bassett was.
No, she was okay.
Well,
She was fantastic.
Easy.
No,
Lashana Lynch, a lot better.
Yeah.
But they had the Marvel machine again. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
She was a pawn and she was used. And then she acted like people were being anti-black. No, she didn't deserve to be there. She was a quota.
Did not deserve to be there.
No, she was not anywhere near. Okay, I can tell you, Angela Bassett was nowhere near Thuso's performance.
Okay.
Nothing worthy. So that takes her out of that's one less person. Lashana, that's one less person. Come on, guys, she shouldn't have been there.
I'm not being biased, maybe.
No, I'm not.
Because you're in the film and you know the people. Oh, I wanted to use the word because you're in the picture, so that's not like I'm from Hollywood.
I don't even like Lashana Lynch, who I worked with, and I'm man enough to say that she should have been there.
Okay.
Why wasn't the woman nominated again? I heard something about that.
The Woman King. So what happened in the Woman King? I don't know if people know, but the pre-production. So a lot of black people said we will not watch Woman King, right? Because I think a lot of black people in America only discovered that black people were selling black people before white people were buying black people, or in Africa. So I don't know if you know, but the slave trade was pretty much run by black people.
Yes.
But people don't. So America and they were like, what? And they couldn't handle the truth that black people were selling black people. So they were all going boycott Woman King. So the Oscars were like, hey, we had Will Smith this year, bruh. We don't want and more drama. Didn't give us a single nomination. And I think Woman King should have at least got wardrobe, right? Costumes. It should have got
Nomination.
Nomination.
Yeah, I
nomination.
agree. I agree.
I think Viola a nomination.
Yeah.
And I think
Thuso.
minimal
Yeah.
nomination.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it could have been one of the 11 best films of the year. Right?
Oh, I agree.
Without and I think a minimum of.
And I also thought the ensemble cast as well.
There's no ensemble in the Oscars.
Oh, and then it's the Emmy.
Yeah, so minimum of 4.
Yeah.
Minimum of 4
Nominations.
Nominations. And they didn't. They did because they really. And then in the opening speech, they mentioned Woman King. The opening speech.
Yeah. Yes. What Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's blatant going. So it's one of those things. But for me, I was attacked for being anti-black. And in my eyes, that's my truth. She didn't deserve it.
Well, I mean, I sometimes people just clutch at straws and they will throw the.
I don't mind that.
So, but that's fine. And I mean, I used to say, what is it? Formula One, the year Verstappen won when he was had against Hamilton. I was out here for Verstappen, and again, I was being called anti-black, and it's like, guys, and I said, I'll tell you, there's one reason I do not want Hamilton. I've been supporting Hamilton, but I was like, no, I don't want you breaking Schumacher's record, and that was it. I was like, I don't want anyone breaking that record. It was not because I'm anti-black. I was like, because I personally believe that Michael Schumacher is the greatest driver ever.
He's great until he's skiing.
That is cold. Oh, that is cold.
I'm a great skier as well.
Oh, that is. Anyway, I saw you went skiing recently. But man,
Yep.
how was that?
I lived in a ski resort for 2 months.
Okay. Where?
Alpine Meadows in California.
Okay.
So I worked in the boot room.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what's the boot. What they?
Where you put your boot, get your skis and stuff.
Was this after school?
Yeah, after school. So I used to have a 2-hour lunch, and used to ski for hour and a half, and then 30 minutes of eating.
And so, you also talk a lot about politics.
It's funny. Do I talk about politics?
You do.
Or do I talk about South Africa?
Well, it's still politics in terms of South Africa.
But
yes.
but you see what I'm saying.
But also like what they always say. Yeah, okay. Go on.
What I'm saying is that I'm not political, patriotic. And I don't know. And a lot of people think I'm political. But I don't talk about international politics. No, I talk about my country.
Yes, it's still politics.
But I'm just saying, I am very, very pro talking about South African issues and what's
Okay.
happening in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I don't think I'm as political as people think I am.
So what do you think are the fundamental problems? Okay, let's talk about
Fundamental problems.
Yes. Okay. We know ESCOM. Apart from that,
Our fundamental problems in this country are not GBV, it's violence, right? It's not just corruption, it's accountability. For me, and I think my biggest thing is that I just want to be able to fix the violence problem in this country and to make sure we hold people accountable to their actions in this country. And I think the education. I think if we fix education, accountability, fix the violence issue, I think we can have a much better country.
It almost feels like the first thing, really, for me amongst those is probably accountability.
You're on there.
And because if you have accountability, then you can fix the problem of violence.
Yeah, but if you do, but not everyone will get caught.
Yes, but it's like, yes, but I still, not everyone. I don't think there's any system in the world where someone can get caught, no matter how, law and order the society is. It's just, human beings are ingenious for some, so they get away with things that they shouldn't. But I do think that accountability probably sits at the top of the hierarchy. Because if I feel that most people who commit a certain kind of crime get away with it, I get permission to commit the crime.
Yeah, I love this country. I really, really, really do. I could be living anywhere. I could literally be living anywhere and thriving wherever I live. I love the people, I love the landscape, I love the potential of the country, but I'm sick and tired of depending on potential. Potential can only take you so far. And anyone who leaves the country, I don't judge them. If you have children, I don't judge you in leaving, or opportunities, I don't judge you in leaving. But we can't keep on talking about potential.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone's talking. I think about potential. I think we know what we can do.
What we can do.
And not only that, we've seen things that are being done, world-class, world-leading things that we can do, I think, as a country. And it is most unfortunate that most of that is by the private sector. And also what is quite difficult, to accept is that sometimes, not sometimes, we are really, really, really let down by people who entrust power. And the people that we give power to, I feel like don't deserve the power we give them. And we also feel like, I almost feel like we need, maybe not the country, but it's terrible. This is a very bad idea.
Wow, that's a great start.
Yeah, what I'm about to say,
it's like meeting a lady and going, I'm going to be bad in bed, but let's do this.
And then immediately disprove that notion. So I almost feel like as a country, I don't even feel like you need provincial governments. You almost need, some people are going to be mad about this, but you almost need city-states. So when you have like they did during the Greek era way back then, where, because governing millions and millions of people, where there's one central fund and it becomes very difficult to follow the money, and which is why people steal money so easily. It's because if you have these smaller clusters that are looking after certain places, and you have maybe I don't know how your government could work, but you have some kind of central accountable government, but they are not directing what is happening here.
So does that mean that the Western Cape wouldn't be putting all this money into the rest of the country? Like, we'll keep it just for ourselves and Joburg will just for themselves? Do you think do you think America would be able to survive without California?
No.
Financially.
No. What I'm saying is that but California uses most of its money anyway, because it's the seventh largest economy in the world.
No. That's what I mean. But I don't think America does need that money from California to be able to.
So what I'm saying you still have some central government, but they are not trying to run everything on the ground.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And And I think this is why it's a bad idea. But there is a need for a new form of government. Because, again, societies have changed and evolved. And I do think that, I mean, everyone keeps talking about like the potential idea, which is benevolent dictatorships. And some people say that if we had that, the country would run better.
What's benevolent? Sorry.
So benevolent
I've heard the
dictatorship
word.
is basically, it's a dictator whose main mission is to make sure that the country runs like it's being like a general is running
Rwanda.
this country, like Rwanda.
Yeah,
Got it.
Rwanda's been a
And
fascinating.
Malaysia, by the way. Is Malaysia and Indonesia?
If I could have my way, just go back to, like the other day I had slaughtered a cow for my dad's releasing of his spirit. And I sat there on my knees. They were like, "You have the son, here's the knife." Cool. Back of the head. And I went in. Cool, whatever. And then suddenly you just saw people go to work.
Yeah. Everyone knows what this would be. Yeah.
There's a gay man holding something there. No one cares that he's gay. Do your fucking job. There's a young girl who comes there trying to help. This is 6 o'clock. 6:30, there was meat on the thingy. By 1 o'clock, the meat was finished. Every beat of meat was finished. And I looked at this thing and I was like, they think we're primitive. But look at the systems that we have that are just African and just like the system. Woman, there's their corner. Here's your food. Drinks for woman. There's just a system, and then
There's an order.
There's an order that
understands.
everyone understands. And then I even said when I was doing it, I was like, if you're a gay man or a lesbian man, you can go either sit with the woman or the men. No one's going to judge. No one's going to say there's no jokes. There's just a respect going. We're here. Someone kicked. There was a dog drinking blood. Some guy kicked the dog, boom, everyone was on him. What? Don't go, I'm going to have one child, I'm so. And I was like, white people didn't invent loving dogs or animals, you know what I mean? Like, and then the whole thing, I'm just like, they think we're primitive.
You know?
But the law and order in that system was unbelievable.
I try to show you.
Man, we're not stupid.
I'm actually trying to show a picture here from when Dandiye Kokumsebenz, you know, is like in. And
I love your granny.
she's fantastic.
Yeah.
So again, now let me airplane mode again so that this thing doesn't go. Yep.
Oh, yabona ke?
And no one is judging.
Yes.
No one is. I don't know if they can.
They don't-
I hope they can see. Eh?
Looking nice and proper.
They don't realize,
Yeah,
man.
like the guy, and this is how he is.
Yeah.
Elaine, everybody knows he prefers to chill and cook and do all of those things with women,
And we have that.
and we have that.
So for me, I just like, and that's the thing. I think people see the things that I do, and they think they know me. Like when it comes to my cultural stuff, no, you don't fucks with my culture. You know what I mean? Like the Tosa stuff we really take seriously in my family. And the pro-blackness part of it, I think they would like to see a certain kind of pro-blackness that what they want to see, and I don't have it. And being a man, I want to be. I do a lot of work in the gender-based violence space, or I'm part of a lot of panels with people who've studied at like Harvard, and it's just me. And now I'm just like that. I just want to simplify the fight. I talk about. I can be able to talk about how women are treated and how men are treated and how we need to talk more to men and vice versa. I can do all of that thing. But for me, things are nuanced, man. I can I can be on a pole and be in a pole wearing heels and still fuck you up.
You know that this is, yeah. It's interesting because you talk about nuance, but I find that sometimes your approach though to things isn't.
No, agreed. No. So
Yeah.
So I must be. I'm on a journey
Mm-hmm.
of trying to improve my nuances, right?
Yes.
So I can be on a pole and I can box, and I can go fuck up every rapist, and I know why they rape. You know, I can be that guy. So that I do think there are some nuances in my extremes, though. If you know what I mean. Like, I know that I want rapists to get fucked up on the street.
Mm-hmm.
But on the same hand, I know that he doesn't just wake up and be a rapist. And I know that there are issues that we have that make people become racists, and that it is nuanced. So I do know that.
Okay.
I you know what I mean? But I do think my views are either there or there. And I know I'm less in the... Actually, I am in the middle sometimes, man. I do go when I have conversations going, I know there's more. But I think the things that get heard from me the most are the wah or the wah.
Yeah, the extremes.
But I do have nuance in the extremes.
Okay. No, but for me, I think that I agree with the important... It's like, what is the thing where they say ignorance is an excuse?
Yeah.
So, if you get, I'll never forget the story where I read about a man in Monty.
I wish I could read. I wish I enjoyed reading like you. I really wish I could. I watch. Like I watch you. Like people think, like I watch you and I listen to you. I wish I could pick up a book like you do and just consume it and take it in. I wish I could write.
But also, can I tell you, the thing is, I always find that, there are things that I wish I could, for example, like the discipline to go and say, I'm going to freaking gym so that I don't have this freaking stomach.
I hate
right?
gym, Khaya. I
So,
hate
yeah, yes. But what I'm saying is that, it's not like, it's that you do it. You know what I'm saying? Despite the fact that you hate it. I hate writing. But it's got to be done. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing for you. So
Talk about the fisher.
yeah. So this guy, he's been some guys fishing in East London, chap in his 50s or 60s, and he comes from some squatter camp. He's fishing, and the people around the area, whoever, like the conservatorship guys, not conservatorship,
Conservation.
conservation
Not
guys.
your language.
So, yeah, definitely not my language. And so they see this fish that he's got. Oops, it's an endangered species, and you can't cook. Well, it may peg as well. He gets arrested. Akafundanga, uneducated. He doesn't know that he's just committed a crime. And the law says ignorance is not an excuse when you break the law. So I can't say I did not know. But then, even though that's what the law says, the judge was like, okay, this is what the law says. But I can still use my discretion. I can still be nuanced in this situation, understanding the circumstances of this person. There is no way they could have known. And I think for me, this is where like nuance and complexity comes in, where you can understand why something happened and understand the social issues around it, and trying to bring the two together.
Agreed.
And I find what usually happens on social media specifically is that it's either you're here or you're here.
Agreed.
But if you are here, people tend to think that you don't have a backbone or you don't stand for anything.
Agreed.
Because being in the middle is not controversial. And people prefer, and controversy flies.
But it's funny that you described that, but wouldn't you say that means Siv Ngesi is a nuanced person then?
In what way?
Because I'm full of contradictions that
No. Do you know why? Because...
No, that's what I'm asking you.
No, I wouldn't. Because like you are full of contradictions, but I don't see nuance. Because there is this part of you and that part, very clearly. Whereas for me, nuance is very subtle. Generally, when someone is, there's an it's almost like, for me, nuance is understanding that there's black and there's white, but it's living in the gray. That is what nuance is for me.
Yeah, see, that doesn't get views.
Exactly. It doesn't. It does not being. I mean,
So Pake and I are busy working on, we say that a lot the last couple of years, is both can be right or both can be wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you can make a good example. So I had a friend of mine who works at HR, and this black guy, they've been doing HR training, and she's talking about being vegan. And one black guy puts up his hand and he says, translation, how can you be that fat and you don't eat meat? She calls me. She's like, he's been fired. He's out. It's sexual harassment because you can't talk about someone's weight in the workplace. He's been fired. So I go, no. You misunderstood. When you translate it, it's wrong. Because he used English. He says, you are this fat. You are this fat and you don't eat meat. Translation, ungaka. Ungaki nyama. Right? So I fought for him. I was just like, please, he cannot be fired. It's a total misunderstanding, miscommunication, cultural fucking differences. So much more nuance than you think. Direct translation, ungaka. Ungaki nyama. English translation is, you're this fat and you don't eat meat. Bro, he was
He
fired.
said fat. He never said fat.
Yes. No. In English he did.
No, he didn't.
No. In English, he says, you are this fat.
Oh, so he says it
In English.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was just, yeah. So he says it in
I
English.
thought he said, no,
Yeah.
I thought the
I
picture was paused.
I said it wrong.
Oh, okay.
He said, you are this fat and you don't eat meat. But in English, ungaka, in Xhosa, ungaka, ungakinyama. And I literally had to go, and I said to her, please. But he even wrote a letter going, I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean anything. And this was like a big job for him, like he's whatever, the company. I don't know what I did. I really am. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend her, and I'm sorry. And he had actually taken the being fired. He had taken it. But he didn't understand what he did wrong. And I said to the lady, I promise you, it's so cultural. They brought him back. But even there, yeah, well, there's the discretion.
Nuance,
Yeah.
yes.
But when you talk about nuance, because I've been using the word nuance a lot these days, because I am trying to improve that part of me. Because I do nuance at my extremes.
Okay.
So there, but I don't live here.
But for me,
But
like,
I nuance there.
I think for me, like, it's funny because maybe I'm understanding it different because in my view, that is not nuance. It's just it's contradiction.
But I have contradictions.
Yes.
But in the contradictions, I know that there's nuance.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I know that a man.
Okay.
I know that as a hectically jockey man, I want to fuck up a man who rapes. But there's still a side of me that knows that he rapes for this and reasons. We need to fix that to get that. So I know that it's not just clean cut, or else I would say kill all rapists without talking about education and stopping people from raping. So I know the nuance, but you're right. My nuances are there at that view and that view, but I don't live here.
You know, like this, I had like many years ago, I was having this chat with Caesar, you know, about.
Woo! You know something?
What?
Your friend.
What?
Khaya.
What about my friend?
What an acquired taste.
What?
Oh! I don't know. And like, I've never
But you-
met a person I've never met
Yeah.
who I go, yo, he's an acquired taste.
Really?
And I watch him.
But to be
I
fair,
love his mind.
I can understand why people would feel that
I
way,
love
to be honest.
Jonah,
I can.
I love his mind. And I've never met him. I love his mind. Like they want, and I think he does it. I'm sure he thinks that, but I can see how his mind works.
Yes.
Right? But I can see how he can get on people's nerves. But I can see there's something special about the guy.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know he knows he's special.
Yes.
Because I know that about myself.
Yes.
So he's special. So he'll go like this. Huh? And he doesn't care what people think, whatever. But I can see why. Now if you bring up my name and some people are like, oh God, that guy.
Me too.
Yeah. So
That happens to me.
So but that guy is an interesting character.
Yeah.
And I would love to like. I don't think we'll ever get along or be friends or anything.
Yeah.
But like I like I see his mind.
Yeah.
I see his mind.
No. Caesar is. I mean, I enjoy him. We debate a lot. We back and forth.
You're being conservative by debate. You argue and debate.
Yeah. No, for example, like we're having this discussion about black and white, and I was saying he is very black and white.
Yes.
And I said you
My vision and goals is definitely, I really want to change lives, man. Like, I know it sounds cliche. I'm opening up a sanitary pad factory in August.
Oh, wow.
Producing a £3.50 packet of 8 to 10 sanitary pads. And then my own...
So where would they go? Where are they being delivered?
So delivered in shops, whatever. We have contracts with big stores, whatever. And open my own factory. And the pads will be £3.50. They'll be called the Goji pads, named named after the Goji warriors from Woman King.
Oh.
And then what I'm doing on a personal note is these, for each single township for me in the country that I want, will have a spaza shop that is like in a container, and all they do is sell sanitary pads. And little girls can walk in with £2 and get a pack, maybe 4 or 5 sanitary pads. And for me, I want that to be happening in every single township, and I want to end period poverty in the next 2 to 3 years, which is actually possible if we just were able to get our fingers out our asses. My sanitary pad company at the moment, we distribute sanitary pads to 60,000 women every single month. And people don't realize the link between a girl missing 4 to 5 days of school per month, and then what happens is they stay at home, then there are these men who end up raping them and child trafficking. So just from a packet of pads, you can actually help stop rape and child trafficking. And another thing that's happening currently, people don't realize, if they don't have pads, they're not playing sport.
Yeah.
So you want the kids to be leaving to go to school at 6 o'clock, coming back at 5 o'clock. The guk is not, they miss that guk, that spot when when trouble's happening. So for me, just a packet of pads can change people's lives continuously, and people don't realize how getting sanitary pads, and I don't understand why the ANC isn't talking about it or what government isn't talking about it, but sanitary pads should be free, and a lot of our problems it'll help flipping education. Because you get a little girl who's missing 4 to 5 days of school a year, for a month, times up by 12, times up by 5, but she's missing half of her school.
And you know the most interesting thing is that women, girls, are passing high school at a far greater rate than guys.
Yeah. So could you imagine? Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
So do you know the Western Cape? I won't even say the numbers, but Western Cape spends millions on unblocking drains. Unblocking drains. Do you know what's the biggest thing in drains in the Western Cape? Cloths, that girls are using cloths to use as pads, and nappies. Now our sanitary pads are biodegradable and compostable. That won't be a problem. We'll be able to end period poverty in the Western Cape. If they give us 100 million rand, we'll end period poverty.
Jeez, and who you are working this with?
So I had just got sponsored by, I won't mention his name, just gave us a lot of money to be able to get our factory up and going. And we've been pushing a church, it's called Menstruation Foundation, called a Menstruation Foundation because we have 2 men who've created it. And our mission is to end period poverty. End period poverty, and you'll see the kind of things that you can fix in our society. And for me, I believe if men bled once a month, sanitary pads would be free. And we're doing some incredible work. And can I tell you something interesting? Our biggest sponsors are men. Which will blow your mind. Our biggest sponsors are men.
That does it should as it should be.
So
it actually as it should be. Because who's got the money is the man.
Yeah.
Who's got the
pool?
The pool, it's the man.
So that's what we're doing now. That's my biggest drive. For me, I think when I die one day, they won't remember me as the guy who was a Woman King. They want them to remember me as the guy who ended period poverty.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then when are you making that baby?
My pull-out game was too strong.
No, man, it's been I think this has been very enlightening. I really appreciate having this conversation. And I hope people see a more nuanced side of you.
If you don't, for a sec, I don't know what you think.
That is so classic, Steve. Yeah. Oh, by the way, shucks, it's so weird. Like I've known, I'd known you for years.
Oh, of me?
No, I knew you for years, and then I saw you, and then I only watched Knuckle City, I think last year, and I was like, no. I was an actor, yeah. I was like, damn, he's a good actor. No, man, and like I was like, okay, I don't know.
You know, and I said this to you before. I think sometimes my personality, my online personality and my online persona, sometimes people don't realize that there's certain things that do take a little bit of talent, and I think that's my fault. I think Siv Ngesi has always been a personality, not a talent. And I think that's my fault because I think my personality definitely overrides my, like, Donovan Goliath?
Yes.
I once watched his one-man show and I called him and I said, "You're so good, but you have such an incredible personality that people just think that's your personality, but they don't realize how skilled you are at what you do."
It's so fun. I had, when I was, one of the funniest things when people used to say, they didn't know what I do, which is, I'm very okay with. And then I was like, what you don't know as a person, I was like, the very first time I ever appeared on a newspaper clipping or anything, that was because of my work, like the job that I do. Why? Because I won this stupid, this award, which is like the Oscars of advertising. I appeared in newspaper. And then again, maybe I suffer from the same.
I've realized it. Like I've
The
actually
same issue that you have.
I've actually taken it, and I think, so when I go to LA, so Woman King came out, went to LA, taking pictures of people, walking into rooms that I would have never been allowed to walk in. So I'm represented by CAA, which is Kanye West's agency. And they treated me like I was a talent. Like
because
I was talented. No, but it's just because they
don't know.
They know me as a
Yes.
personality, whatever.
Yeah.
So when they see my CV, they're like, "Wait a minute, you can't be doing comedy and acting and because in America you have to streamline into and then when you become famous, then you could do you can other things." So then I felt so good to be there. I was like, "Oh, wow, they see me. Okay, they see me." But when I come here, I think a lot of people that I take pictures for are usually people who are like, "Oh, pole dancing, oh, gender-based violence stuff," kind of a thing. But it's hard. Not often I get to take pictures for people going, "Oh, I love doing Woman King," I think that's my personality.
Well, okay, what would you prefer?
I would love to be known as a talented person who changes lives. I would love to do that. But I think that most of the stuff that I get taken pictures for is my online presence of my views and my personality. And I'm pretty much now I'm starting to get to live in that. I'm starting to be that guy going, "Okay, cool. What's the picture for?" Thinking to myself, but I think I've never said this on camera, but I'm fucking talented, and I really work hard, and I think my personality has just taken over of my talent, and I think that's my fault. I think. There's, what I mean? I think they work hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's just certain things that you can't change, they shouldn't.
No, agree.
Yeah, and it works, and it's like, I'm sure if you were not this personality, I don't know if you'd be able to perform as well as you do.
Yeah, it is, man. He hasn't, like, for example, when I watch Knuckle City, in my brain I'm always like, "Oh, that was so easy." But for me, I don't know if you saw me in Still Breathing. I played this very sensitive doctor. That for me was work. The smaller characters are work. It's the same as I talk about Will Smith.
Have you seen, what's that movie with you as a wrestler?
Ooh.
Knock on the Cabin.
No.
He was a wrestler.
Batista.
Yeah, Batista.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He's this big guy, but he's a bit of a psycho, but he's very sensitive.
So
I was like, that for me is his best performance.
So even people talk about Will Smith. I'm not a big Will Smith fan, but they talk about him as Ali. Easy, man, impersonating some easy shit. But you watch him in King Richard. He's impersonating one there as well, but it's nuanced, it's small. It's like, it's so small, the performance. That for me is his best performance of all times. That's the kind of stuff I like to create. And that's why even now, I'm trying not to be, because I've got a lot of offers from America, and I'm trying not to be the African. I don't want to be a German Hansu, even though I grew up loving his work. But I have more to give than that. You know what I mean? And I don't want another African playing another African. I want to be able to be a doctor or a guy in a suit. And I think that, interestingly enough, is the same as my personality.
And locally,
you know that, guys, that's so funny. Since it was announced that I'm in Woman King.
I'm asking this question because I know.
Since I have been in Woman King.
Yeah.
Since started performing Women King, I haven't done one local job.
Why?
It's been a year and 2 months.
Tell the children.
Yeah,
Tell the
no,
children why.
Tuso warned me about it, and Bonnie warned me about it.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing international stuff before, but people didn't see my international stuff. I don't know why. So I'm not going to presume I know why.
No,
But-
but they assume you're expensive.
Okay, yeah, that's why. But they don't even negotiate anymore. They've stopped negotiating. They don't even call me anymore. Like I'm doing a job next month, which will be the first job I've done since Women King for South Africa. So not Women King coming out. Since Women King was announced.
Since you, oh wow.
It was announced. I mean,
Since it was announced.
still announced. I haven't done one job. I've counted.
So you mean that like they won't even say here's a script?
Bro,
Would you be interested?
Oh, it's
No.
not for you saying no.
Not even that.
I'm not even getting offers anymore. South African offers.
No.
I'm not getting South African offers. I've done, since Women King, I've done about 7 auditions, not gotten one of them, right? But before Women King was announced, I would pick up a script, be in front of the camera, and I was booking it.
Yeah.
I remember the year when I did 8 films and TV series in 1 year.
I wonder if it's because they say like, but you don't need this, Siv.
Yeah, I
You
think
are okay.
there
You don't really need
there's a perception there, but
Yeah.
but now Americans are calling me going, is he available from this day to this day? It's there now. The competitions are there. But it's interesting because with what that does, if you're a sportsman, Sia Kolisi
Yeah.
wouldn't jump on a rugby field when being injured for a year and 2 months. He wouldn't jump directly into a rugby field. And acting is a tool, is a muscle.
Yeah.
I do miss jumping from set to set,
Okay.
keeping that muscle strong. But another thing that's happening, so I had a great conversation with CBS, and they were like, just be calm. Calm. There's things that have been written with your name on them. But in Hollywood, they're writing, and you're going to shoot in a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's stuff with my name on it, you know what I mean? That,
Oh, I see. Is that,
it was-
yeah.
yeah, but like, and like I did so Netflix International, whatever. But even here,
But what about this? Like, what about all these Netflix productions that are happening here?
Currently,
Amazon.
so even here, but there are stuff that are being thingied for me. There's stuff that they.
Oh, it's still going to be shot.
Yes, but I
Yeah.
do miss jumping
The
from set to
muscle,
set. I do miss jumping from set to set.
Yeah.
And hey man, that's just the price you have to pay.
Okay.
And not everyone's like your friend Trevor.
Would you ever get into like developing your own film?
Yeah, at the moment we have some stuff that we're pitching to a few companies, and it's looking very good. But me, I have too much of an ego at the moment. I don't have it in me to be directing or doing stuff. Currently, I'll only see it the way I would like to see do it, and I don't think I have currently I'm not capable of stepping away and letting people create. So at the moment I'm not ready, but I am involved in a lot of producing, but no directing.
Okay. So, but I would have think that like directing is really about that. I think as a director, you need to be very clear about what you want
Yeah, but you have to be able to
work with that.
because for me, I'll only sit there and go, oh, I wish it was me. That's why a lot of directors are a lot older.
Because of the maturity.
The ego goes, the
Yes.
maturity, and you have
Yeah.
experience. I don't have that. Even though I've been doing this since I was 9, I don't have that yet.
Gosh, I think directing is so difficult.
See, directing, I worked with I worked with Jamil from Nickel City. He's a master at bringing together a great team who he links with well. And they let him work and make the magic. And then you speak together and it's like a collaboration.
Yeah.
I could be a great collaboration director.
Yeah.
Because the frame and
I don't need to know that. Yes.
But having someone on my side who's good at the collaborations and thinking, that's another thing I've always wanted to say this to you. I love your friendship with Anele, Sizwe, Polisa, you. I really love watching it because I can see that you all know each other's strengths and you all know each other's weaknesses, but you all have each other's backs continuously, right? And then it is like having like four mpakis, right? Because I only have one paki, right? You guys have all, and they're all different worlds and different lives, and you can go, okay, cool. I don't know what that shot is, but I know this is what you're good at cameras, kind of a thing. And I think everyone needs that. But some people have friends who actually don't want the best for them.
Which I can never understand that.
Hey, it's none of our business. But but when I watch you guys, I do watch you guys and I go, and another person I'm obsessed about is Anila's kid.
I like it.
That kid's either going to be one of the greatest kids in the world or the biggest dickhead.
Nah. I can tell he's gonna be a great kid because Anele, yay.
No.
Doesn't play.
And I'm joking, because I always
Yeah.
message, I'm joking.
No, I know what you mean.
I message with Anele, and
Yeah.
I'm always like, I'm tandem. The other day I was at the cricket with him, and he was like, oh, I love your muscles.
What's the cricket?
No, we were playing a beach cricket.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant at the Women's World
And
Cup.
he has a confidence that is just unbelievable.
And he is so
so
grown
smart.
up. So
Yes,
smart.
yeah.
Yes.
So I love all you guys, and I think a lot of us need that. A lot of us need friends who can just tell us and hold us accountable continuously. And I love watching you. I always say this to Paki. I love your friendships. And I love this thing about it that I'm like, you're all so successful. I wonder how successful you guys would have been without each other. We never know.
No, but you're not always say, like for me, I always say that your people always talk about mentors. There's this person and you get to see them once a month or whatever. For me, I think that your mentors are your friends. As it's the people you talk to the most and spend most of your time.
And you want to.
And you want to, and they have certain habits that you sometimes you're picking up without even knowing you're picking up.
No. One of my pet peeves. Do you know? Okay, so I don't believe in religion. Start again. So I don't believe in religion. But my definition of hell is meeting the man I could have become if I just worked harder and smarter. So I'm on my deathbed and I meet this guy, and he comes in and he's like, "If you had just done this and this and this." And if this guy one day walks in and goes, "If you remember that girl you loved, you would have had 3 kids with her and you would have died together," whatever, that kind of thing. One of the things I struggle with the most is seeing people not living their full potential. Oh man, it's a great spot. Like if I'm at the traffic lights and I see someone and I just make eye contact with them for a second, I'm like, damn. Like, I'm not saying because he's on the street he has a full potential, but for me, people finding their full potential for me makes me so, like, it gets me going. I love seeing people really, really get into their full potential. So that I love excellence. I love excellence, and I love people going for what they want to go for. And I love people. I get a lot of messages from people, "Oh, you inspire me, you inspire me, you inspire me. I wish I was like you." I'm like, nah, bro, go be better than me. Be better than me. I'm 37, and I feel like I haven't achieved fuck all, bro.
You know, like this. What you say? Like there was a thing that, like, this is one of my favorite quotes. I was watching a video of Michael Jackson. So he's like in the early 2000, 2002, 3, I don't know. He's in a car and someone says to him, if you were to advise someone who's trying to get into the music business today, what would you tell them? And he said, so what I tell, believe in yourself. And I was like, okay, that's typical. Believe in yourself. Study the greats, be greater.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, what a thing to say, because what he's essentially saying, if you dissect the statement, what he's saying is...
It's been done.
What he's saying is that what it means, the question was someone who's coming into the music business. So, in other words, he's saying, why getting into it if you're not trying to be the greatest? I was like, God damn.
No, I think I go back to this. My personality could be my best trait and my worst trait about me.
Yeah, but I think that's like...
It's
the coin.
Because people don't realize, after I leave here, Khaya, do you know where I'm going? I'm going home to be naked, sleep on my couch, and just watch documentaries on content and just study the greats. That's all I do every day. That's all I do. Like, for me, I watch a documentary on Netflix about the world's best bowler. Like bowls, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I do that. So, and that's what I do. So a lot of people, this extrovert that they think I am, that they don't see that I'm an extroverted introvert who sits on his couch and just watches content.
Actually, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What are you like when the camera's unrolling?
I am the most boring son of a bitch you ever come across.
What's boring?
Like, no, when I say boring, like for example, awesome, don't bang on music. Paki can sit next to me and I'll sit here and we'll say nothing to each other. We just watch something. Just watch. Just like, I pause and I go, yeah, I see that. Okay, on.
It's so funny. I don't find it boring.
No, but I'm.
But do you know? Because of who people perceive.
Yeah,
you to be.
perceive me. Yeah. So like,
yeah.
Muna, I just sit on my couch. I literally sit there and I watch and I consume a lot of content. And then what gives me seeing people being excellent and great makes me
But what it is,
so hard.
But that's what it is. But for me, I think I was talking to someone earlier, and that's precisely what makes someone really good at something they do, right? Apart from observing other great people, it is the loneliness aspect of it. But to create, whether I think you're an actor, you're a writer, you're a director, the best parts are created in those moments of loneliness, which seems very boring. Those times where it looks like you're not doing anything. That is what creates great.
Yes, I literally check up on myself every other day and I go, are you lonely? Are you okay? And usually when I'm alone, bro, lockdown, I was alone, I lived alone in lockdown. The entire lockdown alone. Not saying a single word to a person who was on the phone. And I was like, my God, this feels too good. My God, this can't be, and I was fine. And I realized that I am the biggest hermit you'll ever come across. All I did was gym, bake, dance, take lessons on masterclass online. I get a bit obsessed with things. I get obsessive. So if I have to gym for 3 months straight.
Nothing, what is it? What's Oscar Wilde? Nothing succeeds like excess.
Yeah. So like, I wish everyone could strive to be the best version of themselves. But I know not everyone wants to achieve that. I understand that. But if you don't, I will hire you. If you don't, you can just work for someone else your entire life. And I think that for me is the interesting thing of humanity. Not everyone is supposed to be a lead.
That's true.
Maybe in the next life I'll be a tree. But I better have a big dick.
You are. You know what? I'm done with it. This interview is over.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, that is hilarious.